Welcome to Woke Up, y'all, where we review the latest woke works in this world. Today we're going to do something different. This book is Anti-Racist. I was going to read White Fragility, which I partially read before, but this book came into me because my daughter was assigned yet another woke book only weeks after the first one. And after Stamped by Jason Reynolds and Ibram X. Kendi. And I saw it and I immediately emailed her teacher and I said, we need to talk about this. So I went to the school and I talked about him. I said, you know what, I don't want you to indoctrinate my kids and keep giving the same concept over and over in different forms to my daughter. I'd like a little more rounded education. And he actually was really cool about it. I've been very impressed with her teacher, to be honest. I'm not sure that's going to be the case when she goes to her next school. But we had a talk, and I told him I didn't want her to read it, and she'd probably leave the class when they discussed it. He goes, that's fine, I understand. There's some things I don't like about in the book. He says, I'm not sure about concepts, but I'm only going to use part of it, and we're going to use it as a workbook. He said, a workbook? And I said, well, let me borrow the book, and I will read it and decide. He said, that's fine. If you still don't want her to be in the class, that's cool. So I kind of like that her teacher did that. But anyway, so this book is Anti-Racist. I decided to do something a little different this time and read a chapter or two, not too much, but a little bit so you can get an idea of what it's about, because it's got some cool stuff about, some cool illustrations. And I'm sorry I'm a little shaky here. I've got this really cheap tripod, and I put my tripod on top of my office chair so I can read the book with you. I'm not like a librarian, skilled reader of books, but I can do okay. I read to my kids a little bit. I used to a lot. Okay, so this is the book. Like I said, this book is Anti-Racist. Just to refresh you on what the term anti-racist is, it's this term in the book Stamped. There are 3 classifications in this journey to try to completely become an unracist society, I guess. The bottom of the barrel are the segregationalists, and those are the haters, slave owners, people like that, a bunch of other people in history way back. And then the middle section is called the segregationalists, and in the terms of Jason Reynolds and Kimberly Crenshaw, those are the haters, the people who hate. And in that category are people like Abraham Lincoln and George Washington Carver, and I think MLK. Those guys are actually, the assimilationists are called cowards, and those guys are considered cowards in these guys' minds. I'm not even going to get into that idea. And the last term is anti-racist, and that is the end-all, be-all. Those are the ones who truly love. So let me pull the camera in a little bit here so you can see it a little better. I got a fancy, it's almost like a dolly. I can do this. I can roll it in. Anyway, so this is the book, and I want to just show you the author. Her name is Tiffany Jewell, spelled Tiffa, and then Jewell is Jwl. This is a picture of her. Let me read a little bit about her. Tiffany Jewell is a black biracial writer. Black biracial. How can you be black and biracial? I hadn't even started the book and I'm already confused. She's an anti-racist, so she truly loves. She's a Montessori educator and consultant. I don't know what she consults on, but she's consultant. People use that term when they want to do a lot of things. I've used that term before. I'm a consultant. She spends her time baking bread. I like bread. Building Legos. I've done that with my kids. Watching British detective shows. She does a lot of stuff. And she likes dreaming up how she can dismantle white supremacy. So she's dismantling white supremacy by writing this book. Tiffany, might want to put you in touch with my friend Daryl Davis. He actually goes and talks to racists face to face. Through the power of his music, he's actually convinced over 200 KKK members to voluntarily leave the Klan by getting to understand them, him to understand himself, understand them before you can be understood, seeing the commonality, showing them through being with him that they're wrong and they're prejudiced and they're interested, and they leave the Klan on their own. But you write a book. Might want to talk to Daryl. He's been pretty successful. I'm not sure how successful this is to get people that are not already woke to agree with you, but Daryl kind of reaches everybody. I'm pretty impressed by him. But let's go on with your book. Let's go on with saying, okay, she said, but beside that, Tiffany currently lives in Western Massachusetts. I live in Western Mass. Maybe I'll drop by and say hi to Tiffany. She lives on the occupied land of the Wabanaki and the Nipmuc. I guess those are Native American names, and that's where they originally were living, and now she lives on their land, she says. She lives with her partner. I never understand what that, I never know what that partner term, it's so vague. I don't know if it's a girlfriend, a boyfriend, they own a business together, a wife, a husband, I don't know. So she has a partner and a turtle she's had since she was 9. Oh, wow. I like turtles, Tiffany. I loved them as a kid. Man, I cared more about turtles than girls for a long time. I think my mom was thrilled with all the turtles I had in my house. But anyway, this is her first book for children and young adults. Children. A book about anti-racists for children? It's kind of scary to me, I gotta tell you. I thought kids were supposed to be on the playground, getting dirty, climbing trees on the monkey bars, playing make-believe, that kind of stuff, not reading a book about being anti-racist. I think that's when they weren't supposed to even notice color. That's kind of a good thing about being colorblind at that age, and just playing with whoever wanted to play. Say, hey, you want to play? Oh, I'll play. Doesn't matter what you look like or what you do. I like that idea. But she wants children reading this book. Not sure I agree with you on that, Tiffany. Okay, let's get into the book. Okay, so the first part talks about anti-racist, which we talked about in the last book review, so I'm not going to get into that. She says a person who's opposed to racism. And then there's a section, actually the illustrations are really pretty. They're really cool, pretty illustrations. And the illustrations are done by a woman named, what is her name? Aurora Durant, and I saw talk on her. She's an interesting woman. Very creative, you can tell by these cool illustrations. Who I am is this section. You're everything within you and everything that surrounds you. I agree with that. You are made up of your family, your friends, your neighborhood, your schools, what you see on social media and reading books, what you hear and listen to, what you eat, what you wear, what you feel, your dreams, the stories you cannot wait to share, and those you don't want to tell, and everything in between. I'm sure if you ask who I am, and others have asked who you are. How do you answer this? How much of yourself do you share with others? I'm Tiffany. I'm 14 years old. Wow. 14 years old and wrote a book like this? I couldn't even pass English. I was just getting in trouble all the time. And you're writing a book? Damn. Impressive, girl. Anyway, I live in a small house in New York State. I live with my mom and my twin sister. I'm a black, biracial, cisgender female. There's that black, biracial thing, which confuses me. Maybe you get it, but I'm a little bit confused. I think there's going to be a lot of confusion with me in this book. I am an old dude, so maybe just be my brain. Cisgender female, cisgender. I think that means that I'm attracted to the opposite sex, who has brown eyes and lots of freckles. Oh, wow. I have lots of freckles, too, you see? Oh, we have that in common. I have curly hair. My hair curls up a little bit. And I love to read and bake, and I love to dance. I like to dance too. But my friends, most people don't like to watch me dance. I like to do it, but I don't let people watch them. That's kind of painful in their eyes. And I write terrible poetry that only I will ever read. I'm not going to attempt to write poetry, Tiffany, but I wish you luck at it. And I'm so much more. Yes, we all are. You can decide what identities you will share with the world and how you'll do so. Your identity grows and changes just like you. There are some things that are static and stay with you always. My skin color and the many freckles on my face and have been with me as long as I can remember. And I will continue on with until I'm 103. Wow, you're going to live a long time. That would be great to live that long. There are other parts of us that change even daily. I can wear my hair up, down, braided, or straight. I can change the color and length. It's all up to me. And I was just reading that it's up to you to change your gender and even your sexuality age 5. You know, got it all figured out at 5. When I was 5, I wanted to be a monkey. Does that mean I could change myself to a monkey, put a tail on, and start eating banana? I just don't believe in making gender and sexuality changes, especially sexuality changes at age 5. That's just a whole nother conversation that's, y'all may disagree with me on, but I'm not backing off on that. The chemicals you put in your body and most of that stuff, kind of hard to turn back from. But let's get back to the book. That's a whole nother issue that I'm sure many of you will disagree with me on. Many others will try to get you to fit into an imaginary box. That is true. That's the box. See, they did a box illustration, not the box. This box includes what we call the dominant culture. The dominant culture. If you are white, upper middle class, cisgender, male, educated, athletic, neurotypical, and are able-bodied, you're in the box. Wait a minute. I don't think I live in the box. I'm kind of different. I basically had trouble fitting in the box my whole life, but Tiffany thinks I fit in the box because I am white. I guess I'm like upper middle class. I'm cisgender, like we said. I had a wife, and I'm attracted to women. I'm male. I'm educated somewhat. I'm athletic a little bit. I did play basketball in college. Didn't get very far. Neurotypical, maybe. I'm able-bodied, but I'm in the box. I'm in this box Tiffany has me in. I don't think I'm in a box, but apparently I am. We'll go through all that in these later chapters of why I fit in a box and she doesn't. Okay. Okay, Tiffany, if you do not fit into this box, you are considered to be a part of what is called the subordinate culture. So that's the subordinate. I'm in the dominant culture, and everybody else is in the subordinate culture. Folks. Is this a typo? Wait, I see it once or twice. Here it is. You probably can't see it. It says Folx. Folks, and there's written again. Folks included in the subordinate culture include black, brown, indigenous people of color of the global majority, also queer, transgender, and non-binary folks, and cisgender women, youth, Muslim, Jewish, Buddhist, atheist, and non-Christian folks. Neurodiverse folks. I don't think I'm a folks. I'm hurt. Don't think I'm a folks. I think I'm an FOLX. I'm not an FOLK. Folk. Because I'm not transgender. I'm not black, brown, indigenous people. I'm not queer. I'm not a cisgender woman. I'm not a youth Muslim. I'm not youth. I'm not Muslim. I'm not Jewish. Not Buddhist. I'm not atheist. And I'm Christian. So I'm not a folks. Tiffany, that hurts. I'm not feeling loved here, Tiffany. Really, no, Tiffany. I feel like I'm a folks, not an F-O-L-L-X. We can talk about that later when I come see you in Massachusetts, okay? All right, let's see. I'll bring that bread too, okay? Maybe we can work things out there, and maybe you can include me in your folks term. Okay. There are many more who exist outside this imaginary box than those who fit inside it. Okay, so I'm in that box again. I'm not a folks with an X. I'm a folks. I'm a F-O-L-X-S in my box. And all the folks are out there. Okay, all right. The dominant culture, that's me again, is what has been considered normal, and this normal has been created, is maintained by those that are in the box. So I'm normal. Most people don't think I'm normal, that's for sure. I don't even think it's good to be normal, to be honest. It's this version of normal that has shaped how we see ourselves in the world around us. It's kind of written in orange and has black writing. It's kind of hard for me to read, so I'll do my best. What is smart, beautiful, worthy, a leader, trouble. Definitely trouble. I'm in a lot of trouble in life. Maybe that's why they sent me to boarding school. Many labels and descriptions have been created, so it seems like people either fit neatly into the box or not. I never really did, and you don't need to either. I don't think I fit in the box, but apparently I'm in the folks. I'm in the F-O-K-S box. So, I don't know, Tiffany. I guess I'll just stay in my box. Our many identities make us who we are. They help others to understand who you are and help you to know more about the folks, the F-O-L-X again, who are in your life and in the world. So they don't want to learn about me. They want to learn about the F-O-L-X. They connect us and divide us. You know, there seems like a little division in this book. Understanding who you are and allow you to grow and know more about yourself. It can give you direction and empower you. The world will try to tell you who you are, but you are only the person who, you're the only person who gets this out. I agree with that, Tiffany. You have the right to be seen and understood without having to compromise with who you are. Okay, Tiffany, I am a graphic designer, and this type real close together, you need to work on the spacing here. It's hard as hell to read. If you do a reprint of this book, no, I was 20 years a graphic designer. This is hard as crap to read, so maybe work on. These illustrations are great, but this is damn hard to read. And caps with little spacing, nah, not too good. Okay, so this is an activity, a notebook. Create your identity map. Grab a piece of plain paper or continue in your notebook. I'm supposed to have a notebook. Damn it, Tiffany, I forgot my notebook. I'm supposed to be writing down everything you say. I know that. I knew I should have forgot something. My number 2 pencil, too. All right. Write your name in the center. Okay, so I write my name in the center. And from there, place your identities all around you. Feel free to illustrate as this is your map. Okay, she's female, black, biracial, light skin, a twin, a daughter, first generation bread baker, freckled, tall and thin, a sister, curly haired, English and American, an English speaker, a side sleeper. I'm a side sleeper. It's more comfortable. I think it. Tiffany, if you're watching it, if you sleep on your side, you snore less. Because when you get older, you might snore more. So when you listen to my video, you might want to check that out. Allergic? I'm allergic to something. A reader? You're a writer, too. You're a good writer. You're a really good driver, especially at 14. I can't remember. I sure as hell couldn't write it like this in 14. A creator, glasses wearer. I used to wear glasses. I wore them my whole life until I got LASIK, and it really sucks. You get teased a lot. But you get over it. You call it 4 eyes and a lot of other things, but it kind of makes you tough. You kind of need to be tough in the world. I'm just going to tell you at 14, it gets kind of tough. So, box gets kind of rough sometimes. Comfy clothes wear. That's me. Everything I wear is soft. Every single thing I wear. So I was thinking about opening a shop that said the softer side, and all I carried was soft clothes. So we have that in common. Tiffany, you know what? We have a lot in common. Actually, you know why? Because our humanity is our biggest commonality of all these things. The cisgender and all those things are minute compared to our humanity. It's not something you can argue with. Our humanity is something. Is a reality. Okay, so you're optimistic, resistant, stubborn. Definitely stubborn. Me and you both have that in common. An extrovert who needs some recharge time, always cold. Man, Tiffany, me and you have a lot in common. I'm cold too. I hate the damn cold. Winter sucks. A drama kid? Yeah, I would say you're definitely a drama kid. I don't know if that means you take drama, but you seem like drama is your thing. Always right. No way. I wouldn't have guessed that. I gotta think that sometimes too. So we have a lot in common. At least I want to be. Yeah, I'm sure you want to be. We all want to be. Confusing others. Yeah, I'm confused by your book. No doubt about that. Kitty, I'm not going to do my spreadsheet on this. I'm not sure I'm going to get my daughter to do this either. She's a pretty good idea who she is. And I don't think she needs to write a little thing about this. But thank you, though. Dominant culture. Nice, good illustration. That was me. I'm the dominant culture. Remember we learned that. I'm the dominant culture. Before we move on, check you understand these terms. The dominant culture is the group of people in society. Excuse me, I need a drink of water. I'm getting a little hoarse. Got my water here. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, it's for. Yeah, this is a plastic water bottle because they don't. This is a what they call a high octane alkaline water, not octane, high alkaline water, because I've acid reflux and I can't get it anywhere but in the bottle. Normally I get in a big can. I use separate bottles, so please don't judge me too hard for having a single use bottle. So I'm sure people are judging me, but I can't get this because the pandemic. Stores don't let me pour water anymore because this lockdown of the country. So anyway, okay. Back to the book after I've had a drink of water. Okay. The dominant culture is the group of people in society who hold the most power and often, but not always in the majority in the U.S. and the U.K. People who are white, middle class, Christian, and cisgender are the dominant culture. Yeah, you told me that before. And have established behaviors, values, and traditions that are considered acceptable and the norm in our countries. I am never called normal. I'm never called. Here's this thing again, Tiffany. You've got to work on these spacing these words really close. You're 14, so you'll figure that out. Okay, social identities. Some of those parts you create for yourselves. I mean, we kind of went into that. I don't think we needed to get into social identity. Social identities broken down in groups, categories, countries. This is pretty self-explanatory. You have the ability to create a new history. True. All right, this is interesting. This is definitely interesting. I read a little bit about this. This I think you'll get into. In this book, we will focus mostly on our racial identities. It's because it's called, the book is anti-racist. Yep, that's going to happen. I'm pretty sure. I haven't read many pages, but I would bet a lot on that. In the book, we will focus, but there are many categories within our identities that affect the way we interact with society. You may be familiar with the following: race, ethnicity, economic class, gender, age, language, religious beliefs, sexual orientation, nationality, abilities, family structure. The parts of your identity that you notice that you are most aware of on a daily basis may change depending on where you are, who you are with, and experiences you continue to have in life. The identities you do not think much about, even the ones you barely notice, are always with you. Privilege. See, this is the section I'm very interested in. Some social identities hold power and privilege. Others do not, even within us. There are parts of us that hold some power and other parts that are oppressed. This is why we work to understand our identities within society. We should always examine our whole selves. The identities that fit neatly into the imaginary box are typical, the ones with the most power and agency. That's me again in that box. In that box. Okay, agency. Let's look up agency because there are a lot of terms that they come up with. And I think I know what agency means, but they probably have a different term. Agency is your power to make effective change. It's your ability to make choices and decisions. There is a whole lot of terms this woman has and the woke world has. One of example of where I have some power is the language I speak. I live in a country where the most commonly spoken language is English. That is true. I can read and understand signs and directions. I can walk into school or store, and the folks helping me will likely know what I'm talking about. I don't have to worry. So folks is spelled F-O-L-X. So it says, I can walk into school or store, and the folks helping me will likely know what I'm talking about. So she can't ask me because I'm an F-O-L-K-S. I won't help her out. I won't be able to help her. Tiffany, I'm hurt. I'm not in your folks category. You're not going to ask me for help? You don't think I'd help you? Tiffany, I would help you. Come on, I'm going to bake bread and come see you. We're going to talk about turtles. We're going to sit down. You're going to learn, teach me all about folks and all these terms that are not familiar with, and, you know, how you're black and biracial at the same time. I would help you, Tiffany. Come on. In the bookstore, you can count on me. Don't treat me like that, please. I'm a folk. Don't make me be an F-O-L-X, not F-O-L-K-S. Okay, let's get back to the book, Tiffany. Maybe you'll give me a chance when I come to see you. Okay? We can talk about it on your occupied land. Okay? Privilege is the benefit you receive due to how close you are to the dominant culture. For example, a white cisgender man who is able-bodied, heterosexual, considered handsome, and speaks English has more privilege than a black transgender woman. Okay, that's me again. I'm cisgender. I'm able-bodied. I'm heterosexual. I'm considered... Why does she have a space between handsome and considered? I can ask that when I go visit her in her farm in Massachusetts and we talk about turtles and stuff. I just don't get the space. I'm not bad looking when I dress up. I'm not ready for a GQ cover, but I think I can look okay. Maybe not today. I'm a little rough. So anyway, I'm this person who is, I can see I'm going to be the privileged person. Those with privilege have power over others. Not everyone has privilege. Folks. Okay, that's the folks. Here we go. Damn, I'm not that folks. I really want to be that F-O-L-X, not the F-O-L-K-S. You know, how you doing, folks? Folks do not benefit from their social identities, who are in the subordinate culture, have little to no privilege and power. Okay, I would say the people that have no privilege and power has more to do with the amount of money you have. I know you're only 15, but I've lived in about 8 different states, have friends from every kind of... I even have transgender friends. I do. I have gay friends. You might not believe this, Tiffany. I have Muslim friends, I have atheist friends, agnostic friends, black, white, fat, thin, whatever, all kinds of friends. And I see the biggest oppressor is being whether you're rich or not. Just ask Jeff Bezos about that and all those rich people running our country. I'd say it's the amount of money you have. I'm going to disagree with you. I'll get back to you after you've lived more than 15 years though, Tiff, okay? All right, okay. Some of our identities hold privilege and disadvantage at the same time because I am cis female. Remember, I'm a cis male. I don't have to think about which restroom I'll be able to use. I have agency. Power because I don't have to think about which restroom I use. I'm sometimes confused because when I go to a restaurant, they have these kind of signs, and I can't tell if they're a man or a woman because they get creative with the sign. They got this kind of funky thing that looks like a woman or a man, and sometimes I go to the maitre d', which is the women's and which is the men's room, and I'm like, can you help me out? And they have to show me, so I get confused looking at those two myself. But okay, intersectionality. Looking at intersectionality helps us to understand how our social identities affect our whole life. Kimberly Crenshaw, and Kimberly has a accent aigu. I think that's what they call it. Accent aigu. I think I learned that in French. She has a asterisk over her name after Kimberly. You can't see it, but there is one. So I don't know if you don't say Kimberly or Kimberla. I don't know. It's something. I'm not really good at foreign language. I'm dyslexic, so I kind of suck at it. Anyway, you can tell I'm probably dyslexic by the way I'm reading this book. But anyway, so Kimberly Crenshaw, a black female lawyer, author, scholar, and civil rights activist, used the term intersectionality in 1989 to help us understand that being a woman and black created greater disadvantages than just being a woman. Okay? But because I am female, I do not have the same privileges of a cis male has. I am more likely to be overlooked for a position of leadership and get paid less for the same amount of work. While many cis heterosexual men can comfortably walk alone at night, I cannot without feeling some fear that I may be harmed. I gotta tell you, I'm gonna say I agree with you, but I'm gonna again, you're 15 or 16. I don't know how much of the world you've seen at 15 or 16. Maybe you've seen a lot, but 55, I'm an old dude. I've lived in different states. I've lived in projects. I've lived in gated communities. I've lived all over this country with all kinds of people. And I would say the thing where I'm most fearful has to do with the neighborhood I'm in. Just one quick example. I went to school in New Orleans, a school called Loyola University, and my school was on a street called St. Charles Avenue. And it also has to do with at night, day, whatever. Day, it's probably okay, but at night, I was at night, and I was walking my date back from a dance. And she's white, too. And I wasn't thinking about it, and a cop pulled up beside us. And he pulled down the window, and he said, "You shouldn't be walking here at night. Nobody should be walking here at night. You'll get mugged or worse." And he actually picked us up, put us in the car, and drove us back to our dorm. So I think you have some point, but I also think it has a lot to do with the neighborhood you're in. Because like I said, I lived in a project neighborhood. I live in a middle-class neighborhood. And I've lived in fancy neighborhoods. I live in a fancy neighborhood. I don't actually like it too much. But I don't know how much longer I'll live here. But anyway. So although I do not have the same privileges as a white cisgender male, they really like this privilege thing. I'm going to say there are privileges for a lot of things. Let me just talk a little bit about privilege. I don't think there's just the white privilege. There's the privilege of being skinny. I'm skinny. If you're too skinny, I was picked on a lot in school. I didn't have that privilege of having the perfect physique of the body. I don't get tan, I have freckles. I was criticized for being freckle-faced, red-haired, carrot top. I have a high voice. I'm made fun of that. So there's that privilege in me. So I have a lot of privilege in my being white, too, because people think they're talking to a female when they talk to me on the phone, and I just kind of laugh about it. They're just privileges with everything in life. There are privileges for high cheekbones. There are privileges for having a nice body. There's not just white people. So you can be a white person and feel like other people have privilege. So I think you'll find that. Oh, and I wore glasses like I told you. I feel like not having, people who didn't wear glasses were privileged too because they didn't call 4 eyes. And their glasses stamped on the playground and made fun of. So people who don't wear glasses are privileged too in your estimation, Tiffany. So save this privilege crap, okay? But let's just continue, okay? Because there's privilege everywhere, not just in white privilege. And the biggest privilege, Tiffany, is money, okay? That is the biggest privilege. That gives you what you want. That is the privilege, money. Okay. Let's continue with the book, Tiffany, and all those you listen out there. I'm not going to read much more because I will let you finish reading the book. But it's clear I don't want my daughter reading this book. She gets enough of this every day. I would like to get her more balanced education. It's good to get this. But I really don't want my daughter to be indoctrinated into one idea. I like to have a worldly view. I saw this TED Talk the other day, and it was this woman, I can't remember her name, really great TED Talk from Africa, and she's saying don't give one story, regardless of what it is, because she has been characterized, because she's from Nigeria, of who she is. Get many stories. So I don't want my kids getting one story. I like to get a lot of stories. This is a good story to have, but I'd like to not get the same story over and over. Anyway, I'm going to quit rambling about that. So it says, although I do not have the same privilege as a white cisgender male, I do have privilege trans and non-binary folks, again the folx, do not have because my cisgender identity is closer to the dominant culture. A black one marginalized because she is a woman and because she is black, her experience overlapped and caused great harm. When you just look at a person through a single lens, you can only narrowly understand them and their experiences. I think you should take some advice from your own writing there, Tiff, and not judge me by the color of my skin. Okay? How about that? Because I don't judge people by the color of skin. I judge them by the character of them. A man named MLK said that. You probably know that, but maybe you looked at it. Oh yeah, I forgot. I think he's a assimilationist, a coward. Oh, maybe you don't think that, but I'm sure that Kendi X. Ebron does, and Jason Reynolds, the man who got shot in the back. All right. And I'm sorry. I'm obviously a very opinionated person, clearly, and you may like that or not. I really don't care. I judge people by their humanity, not their color, not their sex, not their gender, not their religion, not their culture, but their character. And I certainly don't believe in victimizing anybody. I don't believe treating them like a lapdog, like a lot of people do with blacks. And I have a lot of black friends and still do today. I don't treat them like a black. I treat them like a human being with the same respect that I treat the homeless people that come into my gallery, the drug addicts that come in my gallery, the former felons, anybody else. I treat them with respect. So that's what I do. And I don't play the victim card on people, and I don't treat them like lapdogs, and I don't marginalize people, and I don't demonize people for who they are and not being the perfect humans that nobody is, and the prejudices and biases that we all have. And I'm just going to stop. So let's go back to the book. Okay, so again, we said when you just look at a person through a single lens, you can only narrowly understand them and their experiences. Like I said, think about that, Tiffany. I would tell you one thing as a 15-year-old. You cannot be understood until you understand. So you need to understand the people that you are so against for you to be understood. Ask Daryl Davis about that. Ask Frank Meek, who is a former neo-Nazi that now marches in Black Lives Matters. parades or whatever. Okay, again with the type that's scrunched together so I can barely read it. When you look at all the parts of a person and where they are oppressed, you will better understand how deeply discrimination advances onward. Yes, discrimination goes many ways and not just on gender or sexuality or just towards blacks. It goes many ways, and we have to overcome those, not by putting down others, but by treating others equally, okay? Knowing who we are, where we hold agency, how our identities came to be, and how they determine our roles in society help us understand ourselves and how we can change a system where some folks, F-O-L-X again, have privilege and power, and some folks are under-resourced and oppressed, again the F-O-L-X, to ones where we are all liberated. We will learn more about privilege in chapters 15 and 17. I am going to fight my way through this book, but I don't like the mindset you're saying. You're dividing people in your book here, Tiffany. There are folks and folks. There are people that are privileged and not. Like we talked about, everybody has some kind of privilege. It's reality of life. But I wanted to read a little bit of this book to y'all. I'm going to continue to read it, but I don't need my daughter to read this book. I get her experiences by exposing her to all kinds of people, not reading a book, experiencing humanity face to face, and the people she meets in my gallery by coming there, all kinds of people. Homeless, like I talked about, every kind of people, Republicans, Democrats, transgender, whatever, anything, we meet on a human level. And I just don't see that in that book. I see this book more divisive than anything. And an activity book to turn my daughter into a social justice warrior that I don't want her to be. So that is my limited review and reading of this book. This book is Anti-Racist by Tiffany Jewell and Ariella Durand. I still don't understand how she is black and biracial. Maybe I'm just ignorant. I mean, biracial writer. I don't know how that's possible. Maybe y'all can explain it to me. My voice is getting hoarse. I get that way with my acid reflux. I hope you enjoy reading this book. Check it out if you can get through it. Somebody needs to write a book that's less woke, that it's just about humanity. I'm waiting for that book. I don't have time to write it. I would. I have 2 kids I have to deal with. I have a gallery I run. I have a radio station called Hug Out America Live. But somebody out there is a far better writer than me, could write a book that's about humanity and not dividing people with things about creating. I think this will create more racism than it solves, to be honest. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but I think people like Daryl Davis are doing better than this book. But that's some great illustrations. Okay, and in a racist society, it's not enough to be a non-racist. We must be anti-racist. All right. That's it. I'm done, y'all. Okay. I'm not sure which book I'm going to read next week, but I will say stay awake, not woke. Take in a full picture, not this one picture that education, the media, Hollywood, even business try to show you. Take around everything, things you agree with and things you disagree with. Get more than one view, get more than one story. Because if you get one story, you will become tribal and you will never get the whole picture. You will never have the complete picture. But at least you will not have one side. All right, y'all. Hope y'all have a good day and take care. See you next time on Woke Up. One love, y'all.